Welcome to Capitol Preview, a weekly bipartisan discussion with Iowa legislators about the key issues facing our state. Brought to you by MediaCom.
Hi, and thank you for joining us for another show of Capitol Preview, brought to you by MediaCom, a show where we bring legislators' view on topics important to Iowa. Our guest today on Capitol Preview is Representative Peter Cownie, Republican from West Des Moines. Peter, thanks for joining us this morning. It's always good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Bill. Good to be here.
First, I just kind of want to launch in. I know that last Friday was the second funnel, which means unless the bills and Ways and Means, they're the ones that have moved through go on. The ones that have died, they're dead.
Yeah, it's an important deadline. It's a self-imposed deadline by the legislature. So as bills have to be either out of a House committee, out of the Senate committee, and vice versa, or else they're dead for a year, or like you say, unless it's a spending or a tax bill. Yeah. So it's a way to narrow down policy bills. Some things move along, some things die. It's a good thing as we get towards the end of it.
I think it helps a lot, don't you? I mean, it kind of makes everybody know they got a schedule to keep and they move on.
Absolutely. So, Iowans have deadlines in their own jobs.
Absolutely.
The legislature should have deadlines too, and they should follow them.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of helps people not draw out a lot of things too. If they want something, they got to kind of be deliberate in getting it through.
Yeah, so. Very much. They always say nothing is dead until we sign a die at the legislature, but it's a good thing.
Yeah. So let's just talk about that. Since we're on that subject, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about a little bit, it seems like things are moving pretty well this year. So any predictions on when the State House will
Well, the 100th day is April 19th, which I would add is my birthday.
Yeah.
So
remember that.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that. But I would hope that we can get done for once on time. The legislature, the last, I'd say, few years at least, has made a bit of a habit of not getting out on time, and it's bad not only symbolically, but it's just bad for, in my opinion, the General Assembly as well as for Iowans to see that. Mm-hmm. We should get our work done on time. There's no reason for us to not get our work done on time. Yeah. But I actually have some renewed sense of optimism that we're going to be able to do that this year.
Excellent. And I know one of the things that we wanted to talk a little bit to you about is the budget that you guys have been working on, both the House and the Senate side.
Yeah. Last week there was progress made with that. There were two issues, what's called coupling and consumables. Coupling is for the Iowa tax code to couple with the federal tax code after the changes they made within the federal budget last fall. Mm-hmm. What that means is it's about $96 million that'll be able to go back to small businesses, farmers, in various deductions. So what we've come to an agreement on is that, as well as what is referred to as the consumables tax, kind of a tax on a tax. The governor put into rule this past interim that tax would no longer exist. What we're going to do is codify it, which would be about 80-90% of what the governor already did, but it puts it into code. So those are two important steps that are going to help us get down the path towards being able to put a budget together. This Wednesday is when the Revenue Estimating Conference meets. Mm-hmm. They'll give us the final numbers that we can start working on the details of the budget. But these two steps needed to happen for this REC to then meet, and then for the House and Senate to come together on the budget as an overall.
I know behind the scenes, I'm sure it's more difficult, but it has seemed like it has been a lot more cooperative this year, and it seems like things are moving along.
Yeah, when you lead up to session, you always hear things about, everyone's predictions, what are you going to agree on? Nothing, right, or a ton. Yeah. I think there's kind of a renewed sense of optimism this session that we're going to be able to get our work done. Yep. We're going to be able to put together a good budget. And school funding is a big piece of this. These two things coming together at this time, as well as will lead to hopefully a good compromise for our schools.
Well, and I know you're proud of being a representative up there at the State House, because I'm telling you, the way that Iowan legislators behave is a role model compared to what we're seeing on the federal level.
Yeah.
So
the Iowa legislature, it's a citizen legislature. Everyone's part-time at this, about 100 days a year.
Yeah.
We have split government at the legislature. We have Republicans control the House, Democrats control the Senate, but we have to pass a budget, and we always will pass a budget. And what that means is we have to come together. We have to compromise with the current dynamic, and in this year, I feel pretty good that it's going to be able to get done on time. It'll be a good thing for all Iowans.
A lot of people can learn lessons from
Yeah.
from the Iowa legislature. The medical cannabis legislation, I know that they passed the bill last year, and now this year they're kind of going through the rules part of it. So
Yeah, we passed a bill 2 years ago, which I would call
2 years ago,
the
sorry.
foundation for cannabidiol to be used in Iowans for Iowans. The law stated, the problem was that it's difficult with the federal law to be able to get it over state lines. It's illegal to do so. And the law that was put into place 2 years ago also didn't allow it to be grown in Iowa. So what we're working on this year is something that is more workable, something that will help Iowans, which is something I think we were all elected to do. The current bill that has progressed, it passed out of the Commerce Committee, which I chair, and it states that cannabidiol can be used for 3 different ailments: multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, and cancer patients. So what this would do is it would set up a framework where this could be grown, highly regulated, so it would be safe. It would not be able to be smoked within our state, within this bill, but it would go to those 3 ailments. So it's very important to me. I hope we can make progress on this for some of Iowans who need it most. It was likened to me recently that if people are looking for this, it means that they have gone through the ringer on every other prescription that a doctor's given them, and none of it has worked. So if this is something we can do to help Iowans and help children, I think it's something the legislature should do.
Well, and I'm convinced, I mean, they don't want to hear my opinion, they want to hear your opinion, but I'm convinced that it has its place in the medical treatment of individuals.
Absolutely, and I've heard from doctors, I've heard from constituents, and I've certainly heard from the people who need it most, and I think this is something that Iowans have become comfortable with, and it's something I'm going to continue to fight for, and we have bipartisan support for as well.
Well, thank you for your work on that. We're coming up to the end of our time here, but no, water quality status is important to all Iowans. It's been in the news a lot. It's up at the State House now, and so kind of give me a little bit of a thumbnail.
Yeah, the governor submitted a plan on water quality. It was a bold plan. It involves a 1 cent penny that sunsets in the year 2029. He would extend that penny, and any growth on that sales tax would go towards water quality. So that's been the one idea that's been out and about since before session, and it's still a live round. I'd be foolhardy to make any predictions on what will happen, but I'm hopeful that we can get something done on water quality. It was just like someone just said to me, we all drink the same water.
Absolutely.
We're all in this together.
Absolutely.
So it behooves the legislature to get something done.
Well, our time's up, Peter. I thank you for joining us here on Capitol Preview. I'd ask folks out there to join us for another show at Capitol Preview. And again, Representative Peter Cownie, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Bill. Good to see you.
Thank you.